Yemen has been mired in crisis since the Houthi rebels' takeover of Sanaa in September last year and the subsequent launch of Saudi-led military intervention. At a recent Black Coffee morning event at our London offices, a panel of experts discussed the potential trajectories of the crisis and what could be done by international actors to mitigate the ongoing damage. Many believe that the West should get more involved.
The West can help is, first of all, when it comes to the humanitarian situation, is really push for the siege to be broken. That siege around Yemen as a whole and the siege that's being placed by the Houthis around Taiz, because Yemen is in dire need for humanitarian aid. The second role that they can play is to stop fueling the fire. The UK and the US are the biggest arms dealers to Saudi Arabia, and it's British and US bombs that are being dropped on top of Yemeni people. And so we really need to pressure them to stop selling these weapons to Saudi Arabia.
I mean, the key priority when it comes to Western intervention in Yemen has to be focused on the two pillars of bringing an end to the conflict and humanitarian aid. There is no final military solution to Yemen's conflict. Therefore, there has to be work put to bring a political solution, most likely based on Resolution 2216, that will bring an end to the war.
With ships struggling to get into ports and the surrounding infrastructure destroyed, delivering aid and goods has become a real challenge. And as long as airstrikes are taking place, the infrastructure cannot be rebuilt.
It's still then looking at how you can do some form of deal with the Saudi-led coalition about the humanitarian aspect and about allowing the commercial, particularly the commercial import of food into the country, and how to solve the issue of the fuel shortage, because without fuel you can't transport food, and in Yemen particularly you can't pump water, and people obviously need water to be able to survive. So yeah, I think we have very limited ability or leverage over the political situation and the military side, particularly on the ground. But I think the humanitarian crisis is so dire right now, and to avoid it becoming even worse, that's something that we need to both financially and politically be pushing for.
As well as this, they can push for an independent investigation to be made on the atrocities that are being committed in Yemen by both sides, the Saudi-led coalition and the Houthis. And when you do that, people will be held accountable for the crimes that are being committed on the ground. And when people are held accountable, governments can be embarrassed for the consequences of their actions. And finally, of course, the West can play a major role in actually pressuring both sides to reach a political settlement, because as soon as they both realize that a complete military victory on the ground is impossible, and the West will get involved in brokering some kind of a negotiation or some kind of peace deal, then we'll start to see things improve in Yemen. And after that, we're going to need their help in pushing in as much humanitarian aid and development projects into Yemen to recover from the humanitarian catastrophe that it's facing today.